British flag. There was no maple leaf in those
No,
days.
no.
Wasn't invented or thought of it yet in those days.
In those days, yeah.
But I don't know how familiar you are with the Masons, or
Okay.
just this is a little thing like
yeah.
this, just to show show people.
No.
You know. And that chair up there is what we call the master's chair. He's the boss for 1 year. Okay.
Okay.
He's the boss. And then this guy here will be boss next year if everything goes okay and everybody's happy with him. There's an election, then he'll be the one. And that guy goes to that chair for 1 year, okay? And then he goes with everybody else in the crowd.
Oh yeah, we didn't know that.
But that's what this is. Like, these are what they call the officer chairs, and that's progression. You know, that's how it goes. You know. And
Wow.
now you see candles up here.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
now, this is set up as it would have been in the 1850s. Most lodges don't have candles nowadays. It's not part of ritual or anything like that. It's so people could see, because there was no electricity.
No,
That's why we have the
That's
gas
why.
lamps.
You got
This is set up as it would have been in the village in 1850s.
And
That's
in
what
that
it is.
time, we're not gas, just.
That's right, Bible. That's, and then the G, that just reminds us, you have to believe in God to be a Mason. You don't believe in God, you won't be a Mason. That's above everything else, okay? And all Masons wear aprons, okay? And the reason for that goes way back to the medieval days when they worked on actual cathedrals and stones and whatever. We don't do that anymore, okay?
Okay.
But the tools that they used in those days, they have moral meaning, so that when the fellows go through, we try and improve their morals, become better fathers, husbands, community people, and dealing with people. And that's it, to try and make better men out of them. I was saying even the flag in the corner is a British flag, but Canada in those days was under England, okay? There was no maple leaf in those days, you know. But everything in this room came from actual lodges throughout Ontario. And in Ontario, there's over 535 Masonic lodges throughout Ontario. It's big, yeah.
Still
And that's the
today.
people. Yeah, today.
Wow.
Oh, yes. And I mean, this is just a small little thing. We have lodges where there's hundreds of seats around, where the fellas come in and sit, you know, during the ceremonies and stuff like that.
Do you guys know what a Mason is?
Yeah.
What's a Mason? Maybe you can describe that.
A Mason is, it's a fraternal organization, okay? It's like a meeting place, okay? And you heard of the Shriners, okay? You have to be a Mason to be a Shriner, as an example, okay?
Right.
But it's a fraternal organization whereby it's not a religion, but you have to believe in God, okay? And as the fellows go through, we're trying to improve them. So it's like a fraternal meeting place. Kind of simplifying it, you know,
Yeah.
Almost like a sorority.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Comparison.
In a way, yeah. But and very strict morals in there, so, yeah. And like I say, the higher a fellow becomes, the more elaborate his apron is. That's how we can kind of tell, you know. And then there's always, has to be a secretary. I'm a secretary in one of the actual lodges, you know, and he records the minutes or whatever of the meeting, you know, yeah, have to have that. Even the stove up here, when you look at this, there's only 3 left in Ontario.
Oh, yeah?
Like this. That was specifically made by a stove company way back in the 1800s, and you see all the Masonic designs in there, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
They put the one, like a high-ranking Mason, you know, they put the wands over him and just escort him. It's just for show.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like a spear.
No. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're.
Yeah, pour l'entrée, c'est là.
Sorts of things, because women did not work outside the home. It was a very hard job to work. You have to make all the clothes, do the cooking, and everything is by hand. So the fact that you had leisure time was a status symbol, much more than it is today in a lot of places. So we've set this up at home to talk about a double family income. It's called Mackenzie House, a home of the clockmaker and the seamstress. So the husband being a clockmaker, by now, the mid-1860s, we're in the middle of the industrial age, and the job isn't, it's an artisan's job. It does not have the same cachet as it used to have in the Middle Ages, because we have factories now that make anything he can make, but for a better cost, like Walmart. So if it was just him working, they would be working class. But with her working, even though a woman only works half the wages of what a man makes, it still raises them up enough to be low middle class, so they can afford the extra large cast iron stove. And they would have land, maybe a quarter-acre, so they would grow all their vegetables, they would have chickens, they might buy a suckling pig, a baby pig, a piglet in the spring, and then in the fall slaughter it and prepare all their hams for the rest of the year. An activity later today.
Yes.
Is this returning stuff or doing stuff?
Yeah, stuff for
Okay. So what we talk about here is that she's purchased a sewing machine. It might take them 2 years to pay off. But it gives her the opportunity with the sewing machine. This really changed women's lives. Instead of taking a month to make your husband's outfits, it would take you a week to make his shirt. It now will only take you 1 day. A month to make a dress, only 1 week to make a dress. So she can do 4 times as many work. The pay is very bad because all women work. There's a lot of competition. All women sew. There's a lot of competition. So the seamstress might have her daughter also helping.
Ah oui, regarde, comme ça, là. Hey.
Paye un petit peu plus loin,
Ouais.
des fois. Très beau, là.
That we'd be getting from Europe and Asia might be weeks old, you know? Only comes out once a week anyway, so.
The newspaper was always big like this?
No, that's a fancy one.
That's a fancy?
Yeah, this is a larger city paper where
It was not like
you've
this?
got. No, not normally, not that
No.
nice. There's the Colonial Advocate there, see that?
Okay.
A lot of text.
Lot of
A
things.
lot of text.
Very few pictures.
No publicity, no much publicity.
Well,
Some,
we're the
some.
only game in town, really. We're the only paper in town,
Uh-huh.
right? Anybody wants a paper?
Hey.
Plus, I gotta keep it cheap, right? If I decide to spend twice the amount of money on paper, which was
Yes.
expensive at that time,
Yeah.
and I'm paying somebody to do all these nice pictures,
Okay.
I have to charge more per paper. In a
Because
community.
you put pictures in
Yes,
it.
it costs more, so I gotta charge more. People around here won't stand for that.
No,
They're not gonna pay, like I'd have to charge more than this, much more than this, because it's a
Okay.
smaller town. I only have a few hundred people on my subscription list, not thousands.
No.
You know? You know?
And the newspaper is good for 1 week, right?
Yep.
1 week.
You get it.
So-
You
So
get it, and then next
you
week
have
you get
the
another one.
newspaper for the week
Yeah,
to read
that's
because
right.
that's a lot of text.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Cost
wow.
$2 for an.
Yeah.
And I'm so 52
A
sheets you
year.
get for $2. Yeah.
But at that time,
It was quite a bit.
Yeah.
It was quite a bit. Yeah. A lot of people, that's what they make in a day is $1.
Yeah.
to make the pictures like this, you need that, right?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you can afford it, you get it done in metal, which we can't really afford around here. But let's see if we have an example of that. Something like this, right?
Okay.
It's in metal. You can see that's
Okay.
metal. That's an
Yes.
engraving.
Yes.
This is the way to do it if you have the money. Okay.
Oh,
If you have not as much money, you can get it carved in wood.
like this.
Okay. It doesn't last as long, but it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, excellent to know. It's good to know.
Right now, the machines that we have here still work.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We still use them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, this one is undergoing some repair,
Okay.
but all the rest of them work.
Work.
Some get used more often than others,
Mhm.
but they all can operate except for the one
Wow.
right now. And we're working on that one. So this is a Washington press. It's from the 1830s, and it's the sort of thing that you. Okay, now you have to imagine the paper would take up all the space.
Okay. On the
Okay.
plate is full.
Yeah, exactly. Now I have something much smaller in there today.
Okay.
All right, so.
So you put
You
the.
put the ink on,
ink.
right? I just did what's called charging, so I'm just putting the.
In that time was just ink, the black ink. That's it.
No, there were color inks as well. Oh yeah, there were color inks, but I mean I'm not going to use it on the paper.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Not on the paper.
On posters maybe,
Okay.
or or flyers, if you're advertising something, we can put as many as 4 colors on one piece of paper if you want. Okay, but you gotta, it costs more money, so you gotta think about why it is you want that, you know. Okay, so then we put it on there like that. This is called a tympan. This actually protects the lead from getting squished because this is the plate, and I drop the plate on it. It's a lot of pressure.
Okay.
It's about 200 pounds worth of pressure, and then you just roll it out and see what it looks like.
And
And that's what it looks like.
wow. Hey, it's beautiful.
So that's that.
Oh wow. Hey. Okay. Oh. So how many at that time? How many newspaper he does in a week? 1 week?
Well, like I said, our subscription list might be 200 or 300 at most.
That's it.
That's all we do, and the way it works back then is
Because the people.
there are not that many people in this town.
300. That's
And
it.
of course, then again, you couldn't assume that everyone even knew how to read at that time.
At that time.
Not everybody could.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so that limits the amount of people.
Okay.
Politics was also very important to people at the time. Okay, some people were dyed-in-the-wool conservatives, and other people were liberals, and they weren't going to read a paper that was too liberal or too conservative for them. So the politics came into it as well. You know.
Okay, understand that. Okay. Wow.